So hopefully by now you have watched the most recent episode that I recorded. Talked a little bit about Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and one of the things that I mentioned in there specifically was about Craig Beam and what Craig Beam is doing at Jackson Purchase Distillery. And I'm a little biased towards Jackson Purchase, mainly because it's on the western end of the state. They've been producing whiskey for quite some time, and they somewhat sneakily, released a bottle around festival time. And I've subsequently been able to find that bottle. And so today we're going to talk about Jackson Purchase's Batch 1 full proof 4-year whiskey, 117.8 proof. Super excited to see what they're doing with a name like Beam. You've got to make some good whiskey, obviously. And it's at a reasonable price point, I think, for a first launch of a brand. But let's talk about it, right? So we drank this 3 different times, 3 different days on 3 different sets of glassware with an intent to try to remove any bias that I might have based off of what happened throughout the course of that day. So the first time through, the nose on it gave me a lot of caramel and barrel spice. And then the palate on it was like cranberry juice, but not the cranberry cocktail, just regular cranberry juice and a little bit of nut. And then it finished with some orange zest and some black pepper. The second time through, the nose was gummy caramel and a little bit of cola. The palate was more sarsaparilla and tart cherry. And then the finish was real zesty and spicy, kind of again. And then the third time through the nose, my immediate thought was, is this a Christmas bourbon? Maybe. The palate on it was cranberry and sour cherry again. And then the finish on it was grapefruit zest and barrel spice. And I think for a first entry into the market, for a 4-year-old whiskey, for what these guys are doing, phenomenal pour. Go figure out what these guys have going on. They're doing some contract distillation for some other folks, but they're also making their own stuff. And this is a very phenomenal pour at the price point that it is and for what these are doing.